Let's look at how to handle missing values. Handling missing values is one of the most critical parts in data analysis. So you have to understand the type of data that you have, and then you have to understand how to handle any missing values, because you cannot fit into a machine learning model null. So you have to make a decision on what to do, and you have to be clever enough to make good decisions in terms of handling the missing values, because the way you handle the missing values will determine the accuracy of your model. So let's see how we can be able to handle the missing data. So let's start by checking columns which have null items, and we just type df.isNull.sum, and you can see that age has 177 missing items, cabin has 687, and back does 2. So we need to make a decision on what we need to do with this. So I like doing a visualization so that we can be able to see better the scale of the missing data. So do a heat map, so sns.heatmap, df.isNull. So our data frame, everything that is now, we'll visualize it. Ytick labels, we give a false. cbar, give it a false. cmap, you can use Veridis. And I like customizing my plot. plt.figure.fig size, I want to make it 8 by 8. Then you run it, so you can see the edge and cabin, that is where there's most of the missing values. Cabin, you see, has a lot, so we may decide to do something on edge but drop on the cabin, because cabin has a lot of missing data that we cannot just input. So we'll make a decision later on what we need to do to that column. So with edge, we need to impute the missing data, so we have to be smart about it. But before that, let's just do a box plot and see how the numbers in the edge against the edge, because what I want to do is to impute the missing edge using the mean of the P class, the passenger class. So let me just do a box plot to see, just to get the means of the edges of each passenger class. So you can see the mean there is around 39, class 2 is around 29 or 30 there, class 3 is around 24, 25. So what I'll do is that for the missing edges, I will just do a function that will fill all, that will return the mean of the edges per passenger class. For example, if class 1, I'll import the missing data with the mean of the passenger edge of class 1, do the same for class 2, and do the same for class 3. So to do a function in Python, we just start with the keyword def, and my function name is called replace edge, and you're using column. So you're using edge, initialize it to 0. P class is also called, initialize it to 1, starts from 1. Now you use an if statement, say if pd.isNull edge, you're using the edge. Another if p class is equal to 1, return 37. 37 is the mean of the edge in passenger class 1. So anything that is missing in passenger class 1, we will input 37. Else, if p class is equals to 2, we return 29 as the mean. Else, if else we just return, because that is the last statement. Else we return 24, having done 1 and 2. So else we return 24, that is the mean of the edges of class 3. Then the main else, return edge. So then if it's null, if it's not null, then there's an edge there, that is what we're going to return. So pd is null edge. If p class is equals to 1, return 37. And else, if p class is 2, return 29. Else, return 24, and the main else will return edge. So we run, there's no error, so the function is okay. So def column edge is equal to df column edge blocks p class as a column. So use the apply method and we put our function there. So what is happening here is that we are applying the function which is called replace age, and it's affecting, or that a function is using age and p class. So let's check something here. df.head, I want to see how our data frame looks like. We may not see much of the missing. Let's just visualize and see how our visual looks like after replacing the missing data. Yeah, so you can see now that age is not having anything missing, so we have taken care of the age missing data, and we are confident of what we did, given that there was not much missing data compared to the cabin. So let's drop the cabin. So we say df.drop, you're dropping column called cabin along the columns. So that's why we're saying axis is equals to 1 in place. Yes, so we are replacing the column on the data, that's existing data that you're working with. Hit again, so you can see that there's no a column called cabin. So now let's see ADF is null and see what we have. So you can see that age has a 0 missing value. You can see we remove cabin, so it's not there, and in fact, you know, missing is not that significant, so you can just leave it like that. So we have taken care of the missing data on our data frame.